Hi everyone, my name is Diana. I ran All Things Laser Earrings, and I love doing tutorials on ways to help you make your laser earrings more efficiently and more creatively, so you can create one of a kind earrings. Today we're going to be more practical, and we are going to talk about glues. I'm going to show you the two glues that I mostly use for wood and acrylic, and why I use certain glues at certain times, um, and a couple of like techniques. These are the two glues that I mostly use, and I'm talking about like today because different materials will call for different glues. Today I am gluing acrylic onto wood. If I'm doing acrylic on acrylic, I might have some different glues that I will use. Wood on wood, I'm less concerned. But I will do a tutorial on that too. But these are basically the two glues that I most use. I have the Starbond Medium and I have the Gorilla Clear Gorilla Glue. Um, and why do I use there? I use them for different things. So the Starbond is like an instant glue. It is very fast. It is very satisfying because things are done in a second. And sometimes I'm just very impatient and I don't want to wait forever. Gorilla Glue is a great glue when you are concerned about uh, acrylics getting ruined, if you have any transparencies involved. It is a great glue. The only problem is it takes a while to actually glue. So you have to be patient and you have to leave it there and not touch it for a few hours, which for some people is really hard. But I love this glue. Okay, so let's start. So Starbond Medium I will use for almost everything, especially if they're like little itty bitty pieces like this, where I just don't want to be messing with pieces. I don't want to be concerned. If they're really small, I will use my super thin little tweezers here. And like I said, the only downfall of this glue is that it is instant. So you have to place it correctly right away, or else you kind of lose that margin of time to fix the placement of stuff. So you have to be confident when you're using this glue. And I will show you on a couple of pieces. Um, and uh, Basically, the only problem with this glue is that I have heard reports. It doesn't happen to me here. I live in California. I live in Los Angeles, which is a very dry climate. I have heard in certain climates, like in Florida, where it is very humid, that this glue can go bad. And then I researched that, and basically, it does say that this glue reacts to moisture. So if you do live in a very a humid environment, make sure you always have the little lid on top. And maybe just be ready for it to go bad. And if it goes bad, it's obvious. It means it's just not gluing anymore. And it'll have a weird jelly like reaction. So if you apply this and it turns into like this weird gel, it's not working properly. And that's just in general. So that being said, when you are applying this glue, if you have painted something or use anything that involves any kind of moisture, you have to let it dry. Also, this glue has a reaction with UV resin. So if you are gluing this, a lot of people use this for like the backs of studs, and then they want to put UV resin on top just to make sure. You don't need to. This is highly reliable. But if you are going to do that, make sure this is 100% dry before you apply the UV resin, or else you get that weird jelly consistency again. All right, so let's do it. So as long as there's no transparency, I don't have to worry about this with I don't have to worry about this with acrylic. However, and you don't need to apply very much, very little. See, I already think I put too much on this. Ugh, which is why I'm spreading it. Try not to get it on your fingers. Try not to get it on the piece. What was I going to say? I had a thought while I was talking that. So this glue does react to acrylic. or can do. And basically, it's not even reacting to the acrylic. It's reacting to the oils on your hands. So if you want to make sure it doesn't have a weird reaction and doesn't create a weird like kind of it creates like a not murky, wrong word. It will create like a it'll eat into the acrylic basically and makes it I can't think of the word right now, but it has a reaction and does something ugly to the acrylic, which you cannot remove. There is no way to remove. So if you really want to make sure that you have an 100% non-reactive experience, you wear gloves on your hand. Or just be very overconfident like me, basically. So if you obviously always remove your masking. So yeah, so this glue works great if you don't have any form of transparency going on in the acrylic. If you have some transparency going on, do not use this glue because it can look murky and ugly. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just like, and here it's kind of like I'm eyeing it. I didn't do an outline for this one, so you can put the spider wherever you feel like. Okay, so these, like, this is when it gets complicated. Oh, because the other thing I like about this, it's actually pretty hard to squeeze it out. So it's rare to get, like, too much stuff come out. Oh, all of these have the masking on. Things I should have done before the tutorial. But then you get to see me ruin my nails. So if I have, like, a very itty-bitty piece, I put it on. Like I said, you really do not need a lot of this glue. Very little. Very little goes a long way with these. And these are just like very thin tweezers I bought off of Amazon. You want me to see me do a really tiny one? Here we go. But like I said, the good part of this glue is that it is instant. Nothing like instant satisfaction. So another one, make sure the tweezers are not longer than the piece. And then I absolutely love, and if you hear scratching noises, that's because that's my puppy trying to go outside. But he's just going to have to wait. Okay, so over here, and then I place it very shakily in this circumstance and put it back into place. So that you do have a little bit of time, but not a lot of time. Okay, now let's show Gorilla Glue. So if you have like a glitter that has transparency that you can see through, or if you're using transparent acrylic, or like any acrylic that has something really funky on it, like this holographic or mirror acrylic, very important. Never use Starbond on mirrored acrylic. It eats into this gray part. So this, just think of this as, this is great if it's like a matte, straightforward acrylic, non-see-through. The second you have anything fun going on, like glitter, mirror, or transparency, you need to move on to the Gorilla Glue. The only problem with the Gorilla Glue, like I said, it is not instant. And it's also like bigger and smushier, like, you know, it's a gel, so it's not like coming out in tiny little bits. So many times I like to put it on a piece of paper and apply it with like a little pick thing. I've been using these Cricut weeders for everything in my life. I love them. And then I just grab it and put it on. Once again, you don't want a ton on because you don't want it smushing out the sides. So I put it on and I spread it on nice and evenly. Make sure there's not going to be a ton so it doesn't smush out of the edges, because we don't want to spend a ton of time on a project and then like apply the glue and it like smushes all over the place. I'm going to use this. Put it on. And with this one, it takes, I can't remember what it is, how long it is. 2 hours. Full cure, 24 hours. But I think about half an hour and you're safe. So I always you see what I did? I just put it to the side, like out of sight, like out of my way so that I don't like get distracted. I'm going to put this one on here now. Oh, I have the same side. I don't want that. That's wrong. Okay, I need to find another one that's a mirror. Put this one over here. And see, did I? Oh, I didn't do either of these. So let's once again remove your masking. And believe me, we've all applied glue with masking on. And the problem, obviously, what happens, it actually will glue for a while, but then eventually it will fall off. Very frustrating. Also, if you're using 3M, which is also another great glue for little itty bitty pieces, and it's basically like a tape. If you have like, I like to do that when you have a lot of lettering or a lot of little details. Remember to take the back off the 3M. Done that before, and then eventually things start coming off. But 3M it's like a tape. It's like a double stick tape that's very strong, and that's also great glue, and I'll show that at a different time. I don't tend to use them with earrings because I find that when you cut little pieces with 3M on the back, that the 3M tends to like pull and do something funky. So I don't feel it works really well with very small pieces. So you see how fast this is? And I think I've said everything I need to say. The Starbond is great. It's instant. Be careful with certain materials because it does like eat into them and you can't get it off. I've seen people like, and then I put alcohol in it. Oh God, it's just going to make it worse. Be careful. But it's really reacting to your hand. It's not reacting to its, so have I, okay, this is why I'm like, I should put these things aside. I don't know what I've done at this point. Because my brain, as you've seen, it can be very logical, but when I'm doing art, it isn't very logical. It goes all over the place. Do this in the other direction, like this. And then let's do these little itty bitty pieces. Here I am destroying my nails. It's just so much faster to do it this way. I know it's bad for me. Like this, and you can just put it in the glue a little and then do this to make sure you don't have too much. And there. And then another one, I will just dunk it in. Wait, make sure you have to take off the masking. Take off the masking. And this is how I end up with hands like this. Glue, stains, paints. It's all part of being an artist, right? I think that's everything. Ooh, yeah, you see this one? No, that doesn't have, that's still. And then, obviously, if you start getting too much glue in your hands, go wash your hands, because then you're going to get glue all over your pieces, and you don't want that either. And this is it. They are all glued, and I will show you one that I wish I remembered. This one was Starbond. It's on there. It's not going anywhere. Well, this one, I can probably still move. You see how that one still moved, the gorilla one? So that is not bonded at all. This is not going anywhere. It's pretty much instant. You don't have that much time. But see here how I got a little bit smush on it? Like, go back. Gorilla glue. Forgot. This is what I mean. I forget. So if you start getting too much glue on your hands, make sure you go wash your hands. And now I smush glue all over the place. This is why Starbond is better for me. Because I forget and I just grab and I want to go correct something. All right. Well, thank you so much. If you have any questions on glues, let me know below. People ask me a lot about E6000. I don't like E6000 for the simple reason that the tube does not last a long time. Like, I think it works really well when you first open it, but then after that, it just gets all dried. And so I am not a big fan. These are the two glues that I use and love, and they last a long time. Well, they last as long as the bottle still has something in it. Starbond Medium and Gorilla. And if you want more tips and tips and techniques, and you love having a good community of supportive people, come join me on my Facebook group, All Things Laser Earrings. And all the products I mentioned and everything will be listed below. And thank you so much for watching.